Hey, good morning, everyone. So I was out doing my morning walk and I was doing some thinking about comorbid issues, autism and mental health. So I wanted to make this video real quick while it was fresh on my mind. So when it comes to functioning, overall functioning, executive functioning, let's think of executive functioning. For me, from an autism standpoint, from a developmental standpoint, I function pretty well. And so I'm functioning pretty high. I know how to do things like, I can go shopping at the grocery store. I can do my laundry. I can do dishes. I can do, I can do all these skills. I have the skill sets to do all these things. It's fascinating because I'm often not functioning and not doing those things. And I often have thought, like, why is that? What's going on with that? Because I used to be able to do those things. And, now I really struggle with those things. And for me, it's a motivation standpoint. It's a mental health standpoint that's getting in the way. And what I mean by that is when you become depressed, it's common with depression, you see some executive functioning issues as well. So we've got two things going on here. We've got autism executive functioning and mental health executive functioning. And so like when you have someone who has autism and mental health issues, you've got like this circle. And you've got parts of the circle that are developmental issues and parts of the circle that are mental health issues. And it's like, from a service standpoint, from a provider standpoint, from a service standpoint, it's like, at what point in that circle do we focus our intervention? Like, do we intervene more on the autism side, the developmental disability side, or do we intervene more on the mental health side, or do we try to intervene simultaneously on both sides, on both pots on that circle? And so I don't have the answer to that for you, but I can give you my thoughts on that, my perspective on that. For me, what triggers the depression is the fact that I don't have the social skills to form meaningful social relationships. However, I do have the adaptive functioning skills, the executive functioning skills to function from an autism standpoint. Like I'm pretty high functioning. And so what triggers the depression is not having the higher level social skills to go with those executive functioning skills. So like, I feel like those executive functioning skills are kind of pointless, because I can't form any social relationships. So when you think of like, let's think of like community inclusion, all the executive functioning skills in the world will get you out in the community and doing things, but they won't necessarily get you included within the community because like there's no connector, like there's no way for you to connect with people just by having an executive functioning skill. So just because you can identify coins or you can go find flour at the store at Walmart on the shelf, that doesn't necessarily give you the skill to connect with someone or to build a relationship within the community. So your community engagement, your community involvement is lacking because you don't have the social connection skills to build meaningful relationships on your own. And so that obviously is going to trigger, a fair amount of depression and anxiety and things like that. And so then the question becomes, well, like, do we intervene? And I'm speaking from experience because I've been kind of dealing with mental health issues and autism for about 15. Obviously I've dealt with autism my whole life, but like mental health issues I've been dealing with for about 15 years now. And so what happens is, like the question is, do we intervene from a chemical standpoint? Do we try and throw antidepressants at the depression and just hope the depression goes away? Or do we focus on intervening from the autism standpoint and work on the higher level social skills and hope that as we learn those higher level social skills, to form like meaningful connections with people and get community inclusion, that our depression automatically goes away, or do we do both? And for me, I think it's a combination of both. Like we want to throw some chemicals at it. We want to throw some antidepressants at it to kind of help stabilize us and keep us in a point to where we are able to learn social skills. But we also want to be able to, throw social skills training at a higher level at the problem and hopefully solve some of this problem that way. And so it's a really interesting question. It's like, where do we intervene on this circle? Like, is it a mental health issue? Is it an autism issue? Is it both? And there's a lot of research that supports that you intervene simultaneously, which I think I would agree with. But the question then becomes like, how do we intervene at the higher level social skills training? Like we really need to focus in on building social connections and building social relationships, community involvement, and things like that. So like the trick is to be able to work on higher level social skills so that you can use that along with medication to decrease your depression, which in theory should make your executive functioning skills come back up, and you will gain your executive functioning skills back. And then as you have those executive functioning skills higher, your social skills are higher, you're building connections within the community, you're getting involved in the community, and life is good. So like, it's an interesting conversation to have, but it's like, there's two questions here, okay? So like the first question is, where do we intervene? How do we intervene from a autism standpoint or a mental health standpoint, which we've discovered, I think we would agree that we intervene both at the same time. And then two, the second question is, how do we develop higher level social skills training programs to help teach how to build social relationships and things like that? So I find that that's a very interesting question, and I think that I think that we can make some progress towards that goal. And I'm really excited about the progress the state of Indiana is making in services and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.